Hey there everyone, this is Hitesh and today we are going to talk about the top 5 reasons to learn JavaScript. First of all, don't get me wrong. When we code out there, we eventually develop some love for one particular language. For me, it was Python, but it's kind of a wrong thing that when you're stuck with one language out there, you are losing a lot of opportunities. Maybe you got stuck with one company and you cannot just leave that company because you're not aware of the other languages, or maybe you're losing some app development or other fantastic things that are right now popular out there. So you might be having your favorite language out there, but today I'm going to give you 5 top reasons that you really want to learn with the JavaScript out there. Now, if you're a beginner in any programming language, then JavaScript is a great option. So reason number 1 is the language is pretty forgiving to get started with out there. Now, a lot of people will argue that forgiving languages are bad languages because they don't forces you enough out there to learn the proper syntax. But I would disagree with that. When somebody is getting started with the language, he should get a feel that yes, I'm learning something. In case he has forgotten to write a var somewhere or some other keywords, the JavaScript is pretty forgiving language because it's a web language. And that is one of the main reasons that beginner can get started out there, and instead of getting stuck with the syntax out there, he can get started with the logic building. That is pretty important out there. Later, he can learn more about the syntax, can use different IDEs that can guide him out there. So that's my reason number 1. My reason number 2 is that when you start learning JavaScript, you immediately get the product out there. Okay, so what does that mean? Now, when we learn the JavaScript, or let's take this off topic a little bit. Now, if most of you are enrolled in the bootcamp of the iOS development, remember the feeling when you get your code onto your real device out there. That is the best feeling. The same feeling you get out there in the JavaScript as well. You write the code, you run it on the web, and you get an output out there as soon as quickly out there. And that is not just an output on the black screen, the scary black screen like the C or somewhere. It used to be in the late 90s out there. But JavaScript is much more better out there in getting the output quickly. Although there are some issues with getting the errors out there, but yes, we can just forgive that out there. My reason number 3 is the front-end development. Now, let's just say you know how to design a website in HTML and CSS, but that website is pretty boring. Let's just agree on that. Now, if you want to add some interactivity or some great features out there, you have to learn JavaScript. Now, JavaScript later on can be evolved as a jQuery or other some plugins out there or frameworks that can enhance your features out there. The sliders that you see moving out there, the images that you see moving out there are actually a product of JavaScript. So that is why I recommend for the web developers that yes, for the front-end developers, it's kind of a holy grail. You should definitely get started with the JavaScript out there. Reason number 4 is the back-end development. And I know most of you didn't saw that coming, but nowadays JavaScript has been asked to do a lot more than it was eventually designed for. Now with the V8 Chrome engine that is being placed out in the servers like Node.js and dozens of other things, JavaScript is doing a whole lot more. Things like Emmet and Node.js, and there are dozens of JS. Everything that you see JS at the back, that really does mean that it's kind of a dependent on the JavaScript. So if you want to get started in the backend development and don't want to get started with a new language out there, JavaScript is kind of a perfect choice out there. So why are you not getting started yet? Go ahead and get started out there. Now the reason number 5 and the final reason is the mobile application development. Yes, I know the native applications are far more great, but don't get me wrong, but hybrid applications are also very good and are quite out there in the market. Let me just give you an example. Netflix is designed totally on a hybrid platform out there. And yes, JavaScript will help you quite a lot in getting started with the hybrid mobile application development. So if you want to get started with the mobile application development, and yes, why JavaScript? You can just put your app in the JavaScript and can export it as Android app or iOS app or maybe Windows app as well. So that is the great reason you want to get started with the JavaScript out there. Now, if you really want to get started with the JavaScript, or let me give you more, if you want to get started completely into the front-end development, I have a killer online bootcamp for you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not selling you anything out there just yet. I'm just saying check it out. If you like it, then only take it. You are the boss here. So I would highly recommend go out and check out this bootcamp out there. So where you can check it out, The link is in the description below, so go ahead, click on that and check it out. It's a killer online bootcamp with all peoples out there are happy and of an average of 4.7 out of 5 ratings. So go ahead and get started out there.